So from the moment you did the documentary, which went viral and it was shared by everybody around the world, I'm sure a lot of people contacted you. A lot of different people sending their own stories. Here's what I know. Here's what I know. What's changed from the stories in the documentary? Which, by the way, you had General Spalding there, you had Gordon Chang there, you had Dr. Judy Mikovits there, which is how I saw and found out about Dr. Judy was through your documentary. I believe you were one of the first ones in the last, during this era of the China and coronavirus that we heard about Dr. Judy, where other people have been now interviewing her. What's changed from seeing the documentary from China to today?
Well, since the documentary was released, there have actually been a lot of reports corroborating what we said. There are, of course, now investigations going into it, specifically on individuals that we directly point to, such as this Dr. Xi Zhengli, this Batwoman of China, as being one of the possible central figures in this entire thing. The U.S. is launching multiple investigations. I just reported, for example, they cut funding to an NIH program that was going to China. This Dr. Xi Zhengli is actually named in some of the reports on that. There was a Pentagon program that was also, it's being investigated right now, sending money to China. Other ones, many of them are mentioning Dr. Xi Zhengli. There's investigations into some of the U.S. universities, such as in Texas, and also, again, naming directly Dr. Xi Zhengli and this Wuhan Institute of Virology. And so it does appear that we, at the very least, contributed some evidence that may be helping some of these investigations. We'll have to see. And of course, a lot of media came out after we published the video, doing interviews such as, for example, Washington Post had an article noting that in 2018, there were State Department cables warning of security problems at that laboratory. More articles like that have come out. There have been some other ones, exclusives in other media, really just corroborating what we said as well.
So what is your biggest concern? What's your biggest concern with China today? You're so deep into it. What's your biggest concern?
So when it comes to the way I view the Chinese regime, it's maybe a bit different from how a lot of people view it. The Chinese regime regards the United States as its #1 enemy. The very existence of a country that is based on the ideas of, say, individual rights, does defend internationally to some extent human rights, does believe in this idea that if given basic freedoms, people can create a prosperous society. These things are antithetical to the narratives and the practices of the Chinese Communist Party. It tells people that they are not capable of creating a harmonious and functioning society if people are given freedom like we have here. And so challenging that, attacking the United States, undermining this perception is a huge part of what the Chinese regime is doing. And when it comes to their systems of warfare, of course, when we think war normally, we think tanks, guns, soldiers, jets, missiles, these kinds of things. When you're dealing with the Chinese Communist Party, they're talking about culture, they're talking about drugs, they're talking about business warfare, cyber. They're talking about the basic perceptions, things like they have the 3 warfares doctrine: psychological warfare, media warfare, and legal warfare. How do you alter international perceptions of issues? How do you manipulate the, say, basic perceptions of a country in order to support or oppose what they want you to support or oppose?